For the Greek
Bring me back.
Team, center fielder, number 11, Max Warren.
So Greece holds Slovenia scoreless. They get the call on that play at second base. The throw was high. Lettuce came down with it, and unfortunately, the catcher Lesniak went off the bag stealing and was tagged out, caught stealing. That's going to bring up Max Goran, right-handed batter and center fielder. Plays a little bit of infield as well, as demonstrated in last night's game against Ireland, where he came into second base for a spell. And Goran watches one in the dirt for ball one. That one's in for a strike. 1-1 the count on the man wearing all the ones, number 11, Max Goran. And that one's down in the dirt for another ball. That misses. Fails to find the low outside corner. Till. And there's ball four issued. And the backstop wall is going to rebound that into Lesniak's glove and prevent a further advance in first base. So the first batter gets aboard.
Number 5, Pete Maestralis.
It's going to bring up Pete Maestralis. Has played outfield in 2 games for Greece and comes in to play short in this one. He watches one for a strike. Slovenia took that hard look loss in extra innings. They scored a run in the top of the 10th to take a lead, but Finland scored 2 to walk it off. In one of the most exciting games we've watched so far, the lead changed hands several times. Slovenia have been involved in 2 exciting games. They took a 9-1 lead in their first game, gave up a 14-10 lead, and eventually would come back to win it 27-18 in our highest scoring game of the tournament to date. 45 runs scored in all. Pitch is a strike on the inside, Black. Goran fakes a movement to second. Lesniak went for the throw, lost the ball on the transfer, so there won't be a back pick attempt on that one. So the team sheet given in originally had the pitcher from the opening game for Slovenia taking a turn at first base, Rok Čuček, but he's scratched in favor of Puchnik, who goes in there. Another big left-hander. That one's up for a ball. Lesniak calls time and goes to discuss pitching strategy with his hurler, Luka Till. That one's down at the shins for a ball. I caught up with Slovenian outfielder Jaka Šerbek in pre-game to discuss yesterday's hard-fought loss. As the runner is in motion, and that one is clipped fair. Swinging bunt. Puchnik is going to make a good play to hold on to the ball with a foot on the bag. Just kept his big toe on first base there. And the runner is out. So that works as if it were a bunt.
Catcher, number 3,
and moves the runner over.
Qualifiers.
It's a growl about yesterday's defeat. He told me in Slovenia they have a wonderful phrase, it's baseball, the ball is round. It's round for both teams, you don't know which way it's going to fall. And that's true of baseball. When it's a close game like that, it could be anybody. Slovenia will feel a little hard done by, but they understand that in baseball, one swing of the bat can change the whole thing. As Till doesn't like the call, doesn't like the ball. He's going to step out and change it out. Sliveras catching his third consecutive game for Greece. Greek pitching has been particularly accurate in this one. He's not had to deal with a lot of pass balls and wild pitches. That one is up for a ball. And he hasn't been worked too hard, as both games that Greece have played have ended early. One in their favor on the 15-run rule, and another one, as that one goes in for a ball. Another one last night as they were sent home in the 8th on the 10-run rule. And umpire Damiano Iacobelli is just going to tell the Slovenian team to try and keep their timeouts and conferences to a minimum in order to get this game played. Ball 4 issued to Georgios Sliveras. Till bounces on the mound, doesn't like the call, but that one was low below the knees. It is a ball. So with 2 runners on and 1 away, up comes big Ari Sikopoulos. He was really shut down by the Irish pitching in game 2 for the Greeks. In game 1, he swung the bat to great effect, had 7 RBIs. Was silenced at the plate in last night's game. Big swing and a miss from Sikopoulos. He struck out swinging twice and was a ground out victim in his 3 trips to the plate in last night's game. As the Greeks managed only 2 base runners in the entire game, 1 on an error and 1 on a walk issued by reliever Sean McNamara. And of course a 3rd runner on the base hit given up in that 1-hitter. That one misses as well. 2 balls and no strikes now. Keelan Smithers, the Irish starter, was almost untouchable. He allowed 2 base runners, 1 on a fielding error at second base. The first man of the game, Max Gorin, reached. A little visit here from pitching coach Rok Vadas. He's going to check in with his hurler, Luka Til. This game, of course, is crucial. Ireland 3-0 have all but guaranteed themselves a spot in the final. And this is a crucial development as both of these teams sit on 1-1. The winner of this game will have advantage in the head-to-head if they finish with identical records. So Slovenia, if they want to reach the final, they've got 2 crucial games coming up today and tomorrow. Today's curtain raiser against Greece, and tomorrow's main event, they take on your hometown Irish national baseball team. So Luka Till leans in from the stretch and gets his sign. The left-handed batting Sikopoulos watches that one low for a ball. It is ball 4, and that's going to load the bases. So the bags are juiced for the starting pitcher and sometimes third baseman Dimitrios Kourtis.
Now batting, the pitcher, number 29, Dimitri Kourtis.
Right-handed pitcher Dimi Kourtis is a right-handed batter. He's got all the bags juiced. 1 away. He puts that one through the gap. Hard hit ground ball single. 1 run scores. The second run rounds third, and the cutoff won't throw in time, and 2 runs score. 2 RBI. Base hit, and Greece have drawn first blood in this one. The single from Kourtis to give himself some run support.
The left fielder, number 14, Costa Kapothanasis.
It's going to bring up Constant Kapothanasis here, number 14 for the Greek team, left fielder. Solid base hit along the ground into the gap between short and third, made its way all the way to the left fielder, who threw in. It was cut off by the third baseman Godnich. And they're going to try and bunt the runners over, but that's a foul ball. With 1 away here in the inning, the infield fly rule would be on effect with runners on first and second, so Kapothanasis knows that if he pops it up, he'll be out. So the bunt is some might say a conservative way of trying to move those runners over. Kapithanassis has demonstrated that he can swing the bat, though, to decent effect. And a shot deep to left field, but that one's hooking foul all the way. So there are 2 strikes now on Kapithanassis. And misses. Low and outside. Till is going to stamp around a little, and the Slovene bench is going to make some noise, but that one was a breaking ball that failed to find the zone. And there's a shot to center field by Kapithanassis, where it is taken. Arisakopoulos is tagging, but he's not going to advance. So the catch is made in center by Matija Pevec on his tournament debut. And there are 2 away with runners on first and second for Bill Les. So Curtis had those 2 ribbies and a base hit. He stands at first base. Big Arisakopoulos at second. As Les watches that one find the zone. Comes across at the letters for a strike. Off-speed pitch used to devastating effect there by Luca Till. And that one's on the ground. No, it gets past the shortstop. Base hit. Sakopoulos rounds third. The throw home is late, and he scores. No play at third base as Curtis heads up, makes his way from second to third on the throw. So Sakopoulos in motion on contact, scores from second with ease. And that's another base hit and an RBI.
Now batting.
As
Right
constant,
fielder, number 20, John.
as Bill Les gets himself an RBI single. It's going to bring up John Kalivas. Ioannis Kalivas in your programs. The right fielder for Greece. That's in at the knees for a strike. And a hard hit ball to short. They'll go the short way to second, and the side is retired. So Greece hitting the ball to good effect here. They drew a bunch of walks to load the bases. And they score 3 runs on 2 hits. No Slovenian errors, and they leave 2 men on base. We're back right after this for the
Batting for Team Slovenia, number 51, the first baseman, Puchnik.
So Puchnik, the first baseman, is going to step in. First pitch swinging, it's a foul ball back to the fence. And that's in for a strike, strike two.
Who do you think Greece's best pitcher is?
And strike three called. Greece throwing Dimitrios Kourtis today. They had John Kuntis on the mound in the first game, arguably their strongest pitcher, and they're probably hoping that they'll reach a final that they can keep in reserve for. Of course, if they lose this one, they may have to go back to their ace Kuntis on Friday to try and get into the final. Kitek making his tournament debut here. Miha Kitek playing right field. He steps in after Puchnik strikes out looking and takes strike one. And that's strike two, coming across at the thighs. So Kourtis dealing here early in the second. And that one is a ball. Swing and a miss. So strike three, back-to-back strikeouts to open the second frame here.
Now batting, designated hitter number 46,
For Dimitrios Kourtis. That's going to bring up the DH.
Strukel.
Giga Strukel. Giga had a good day at the plate and behind the dish for Slovenia yesterday in an extra innings defeat, as that one is out. Oh, it's in for a strike. Kourtis painting the outside black there to great effect. Nips the corner, gets himself a strike. Swing and a miss for strike two. And an 0-2 hole with two men out for Strukel. And that one's up and away. So Kourtis doing a good job of keeping his pitch count down here in the second inning. There's a swing and a miss. Strike three means that Kourtis strikes out the side on just 12 pitches. Tremendous effort there by Dimi Kourtis on the mound for the Greeks, and they're going to bat next. Right out. Bring me back. So stepping in for the Greek team is the second baseman. Tomas Lekas. Tomas Lekas, known affectionately to his friends as Jamie, he puts that one right into the pitcher's glove. Till is going to toss it over to first base. And that's a good defensive play. He gave it the old college try there, snagged it out of the air, jogged halfway to first base, and just tossed it overhand into the glove of Puchnik. So one away, that brings up the top of the order, Max Guarin. So Till from his windup gets his sign, and the pitch is a breaking ball in for a strike. Guarin walked and would later score in his first at-bat. And he pops that one out to the gap in center field where it's going to fall in. On the long run, the center fielder unable to make the play. Matija Pevic had to go about 30, 40 feet to try and get that one. It's going to fall in for a base hit. It's a double for Guarin, and he's in scoring position with one away for Pete Mastralis, who grounded out on a swinging bunt in the first inning. So Matic Lesniak, the catcher, is just going to call in his outfielders. There is a brisk breeze blowing in that's going to take a couple of feet off any fly balls. So he's saying to his outfielders, just come in until they can hit it over your heads, as he blocks a ball in the dirt. That is a breaking ball that doesn't break enough and goes over the zone for a ball. Left-handed hitting shortstop Mastralis watches that one up and away for a ball. And that goes to 3-0. That's a strike at the letters. 3 balls and 1 strike. Mistral is not interested, taking all the way 3-0. And he clobbers that one into his pull field, but it is a foul ball. Skips once over the fence and off the scoreboard. That fills the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Till from the stretch leans in, gets his sign. Mastralis digs in. Swinging at that one. A ball low, but he swings at it, fouls it away. And he stays alive, 3-2 at the plate. Slovenia have been reasonably conservative with their pitching to date. They sent Luka Kreitmeyer out for 9 full innings in yesterday's game. And when they needed to go to the pen, they went to Rok Chuchek, who pitched 99 times. As that one is fouled away. Way over to the cricket field. When they went to the pen, they went to Rok Chuchek, who had thrown 99 pitches in the previous day's game. So they've been sparing their arms for this one, a crucial clash that may well decide who makes it to the final from these two teams. And ball 4 is issued below the knees. Till doesn't like it, but it's certainly a low pitch. The low fastball is under the zone. Runners at first and second for Georgios Tliveras. Tliveras would walk and also score on the 2 RBI single by Dimitrios Kurtis in the first inning. And he clobbers that one high to right field, where Kitek has to readjust, but he makes the play. And no advance from the runners. Goran tagging, but that one was too shallow. Kitek got a good read on that one and followed it in the wind. Took it into the glove, no problem. So it's a new look outfield for Slovenia. As Kitek in right, Yerman in left, and Matijepevec in center are making their tournament debuts. Ari Sakopoulos digs in. Walked in his last at-bat, one clobbered deep right field and dropped at the fence. 2 runs are going to score easily. And that's a stand-up 2 RBI double for Ari Sakopoulos. Kitek followed that one all the way. Made a leap, collided with the fence, but couldn't come down with the ball. And a fine bit of hitting from Sakopoulos as his good tournament resumes. Shut down by Ireland. But he gets his 8th and 9th RBIs of the tournament. A tremendous performance for big Ari Sakopoulos, the first baseman. As he's sitting pretty at second base with 2 away. That's going to bring up the pitcher. Curtis has 2 RBIs on that single in the first, and now he bats in the second. And he hits a line drive to center field. It's going to fall in over the center fielder's head. Sakopoulos scores easily. This is going to be a stand-up double. Curtis is going to look for 3. He rounds. He's coming down hard for third. The play at third. Gets him. He can't stretch the double. And he makes the last out at third base as he is lollygagging his way to third base. Is it too much to expect a pitcher to hustle as he tries to stretch a double out to a triple? Not a situation that arises too often. He gets his RBI, he gets his double. He has a single and a double and 3 ribbies to his credit. But the inning is over. Greece double their advantage. They've scored 3 in the first, 3 in the second. They lead it 6-0 going into the third. Okay, bring me back. Okay, stepping in, there's a substitute for Slovenia as they send to the plate number 77, Veselinovic. Igor Veselinovic is the player manager for Slovenia. As he makes his tournament debut. Big swing at that one. It's a strike. So Veselinovic, along with Luka Kreitmeyer, is one of the few veterans associated with this young Slovenian team. He certainly has a cool head on his shoulders. He hits that one along the ground where it's going to get into the glove of the shortstop, and the tag is missed. Veselinovic hurts himself going over the first base bag. Looks like a hamstring injury. That looks pretty serious. He's safe with a base hit. He hit that one deep into the hole. The shortstop, Pete Mistralis, made a good effort to get it over there. The throw was slightly up the line. Ari Sikopoulos couldn't get the tag on, but at that stage, Veselinovic was tripping over the first base bag, and he has hurt himself pretty badly. He's down and he needs medical attention. May have jarred his knee. Some attention is being paid to his thigh. In comes the volunteer ambulance corps here, and it looks like he's going to come out of the game for a pinch runner. Warmed up and ready to go is number 34, Ziga Verbeek. And, as he's seen the injury, he turns away. This does not look pretty. It does not look good for the Slovenian manager, Igor Veselinovic. Matija Pevic is going to have to wait for his at-bat to start. Receiving attention now to his lower leg. He may have turned his ankle badly on that one. In avoiding the tag from Sikopoulos, which was down the line, he tripped over the first base bag and fell. He was past the tag at that stage. It will be recorded as an infield single. But in just trying to make sure that he doesn't get backswiped on the play, he unfortunately lost his footing over the first base bag. And it appears he has rolled an ankle at best, folks. This is a terrible, devastating development for Slovenia, who have a base runner here in the shape of their leadoff man in the third. But the man who got the hit, it looks safe to say, will not be the man running the bases. Ziga Verbeek is ready to come in if necessary. He gets his sprints in right field foul ground. Igor Veselinovic's day looks done. His tournament could be done, and that's a terrible shame. Yeah, the ambulance corps are there. They have brought out the first aid kit. This is Veselinovic removes his helmet. He's talking, he is responding to stimulus, but he is almost immobile past the first base bag there on what we now believe to be a suspected ankle injury. As now more of the ambulance corps come down. So Igor Veselinovic's batting helmet is being sent back to the dugout. His day is definitely done, and now it's just a question of how serious the injury is. Will he have a chance to feature in tomorrow night's game against Ireland, or a potential finals appearance on Saturday? Veselinovic, the experience, and they appear to be preparing to lift him away from the field where he can receive medical attention. The County Meath Civil Defence are providing first aid at this tournament, invaluable assistance, as they have had to deal with all manner of injuries, not only in this tournament, but in everything we've held here at Ashburn. Their assistance has been quite crucial to running any kind of baseball operation here. And this fine field is the home, of course, of the Ashburn Giants, one of the 9 ball clubs operating in the Irish Baseball League. The Baseball League run across the whole island, always looking for new players if you're watching from Ireland. Baseball Ireland wants you. Baseball Ireland operates in A-League and a B-League. No experience necessary. The A-League is of a standard, a highly competitive standard, but the B-League welcomes beginners. People of all stripes and backgrounds. It's a very social experience. Baseball is a great game. There's a spot for everybody. All kinds of shapes of people, all kinds of levels of athletic prowess and experience. I, for one, had never played baseball before joining the Dublin City Hurricanes 7 years ago. I haven't looked back. It's a magical sport. A wonderful day out. There's nothing better on a day like this to be watching or playing baseball. Nothing better. As Igor Veselinovic is immobile, prone, and being stabilized now by the County Meath Civil Defence. And this is the kind of occurrence that nobody wants to see. The Greek coaching team is just going to tell their players to stay loose, stay limber. And Greek manager Skip Essien is there at his counterpart's side in a show of solidarity. Because at the end of the day, competitive as this is, this tournament is always played in a spirit of friendship and camaraderie. A great collegiate spirit here in European baseball. These teams have run into each other down the years at B pool and C pool level. They are the fiercest of rivals on the field, but the best of friends off it. As Skip Essien, the Greek manager, checks on Igor Veselinovic, and this is a tragic end to Veselinovic's game, if not his tournament. This broadcast is brought to you by Foley's New York Bar and Grill, home of the Irish American Baseball Hall of Fame. Check out Foley's New York on Facebook for their Burger of the Week. Check out the Irish Baseball Hall of Fame sometimes, the Irish American Baseball Hall of Fame, including the wonderful and wonderfully named I Didn't Know He Was Irish Award, where such luminaries as Kansas City Royals bench coach Don Wakamatsu, who of course has Irish ancestry that you might not guess from his Hawaiian Japanese name. Don Wakamatsu, I didn't know he was Irish. He's in the Irish American Baseball Hall of Fame, along with Peter O'Malley, one-time owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers and now involved in the San Diego Padres, and a great friend of Irish baseball. Peter O'Malley, of course, a supporter of not only the ballpark here at Ashburn, but without him, O'Malley Fields in Clondalkin, the first purpose-built baseball field in Ireland, could not have been built. His support and the support of the Irish American diaspora has been crucial to the growth of baseball in Ireland. If you want to find out more about how to help Baseball Ireland, visit baseballireland.com or find us on Facebook or Twitter at Baseball Ireland. And a hush has descended on this crowd as they see that Veselinovic is quite badly hurt. County Meath Civil Defence are going to stabilize that injured right leg of his, or left leg it appears. It's his left leg. He's face down. They place him in a recovery position. This is certainly a painful injury. His Slovenian teammates offering words of encouragement. His Greek counterpart Skip Essien just checking in on him. The Greek team are going to leave the field now and get some refreshments. Irish manager Sean Mitchell is going to come out again to Igor. And now they're discussing whether they will bring the ambulance to the field or they're going to bring out a cushion for Veselinovic's head as they attempt to stabilize him before moving him. Veselinovic hit a laser across the ground to shortstop Pete Mistralis. Mistralis went way back to his backhand to glove it, fired a strike across to Sakopoulos. At this stage, Veselinovic was running over the bag, and in an attempt to avoid the back tag from Ari Sakopoulos, he lost his footing over the first base bag and hurt himself. And the Slovenian coaches are just going to get the contingency plans in operation. Rok Vadas is going to tell his bench players and his fielders to stay warm. They're going to jog up and down the left field line. Pevac is the next batter up. He's just going to pace at home plate. And Ziga Verbeek will be the pinch runner. He's just going to stay limber and stretch it out. An extended delay if you've just joined us here. Greece lead this one 6-0. We are in the top of the third with no outs. Igor Veselinovic got a base hit, got aboard, but lost his footing on the first base bag and has injured himself particularly badly. The Meath Civil Defence have closed up the ambulance doors. They look set to bring it to the field to remove Igor Veselinovic to where he can get further medical attention. They've taken down the dead ball fence to create a pathway for the ambulance. And yes, indeed, here comes the ambulance reversing slowly to the field. It's going to make a turn so it can get to the field immediately. Greece, Slovenia here. The home team, Greece, shot out to a 6-0 lead. 3 runs in the bottom of the first, 3 runs in the bottom of the second. And Slovenia, attempting to get a rally going here in the top of the third, have suffered a heinous injury to their player manager Igor Veselinovic. And everyone in the stadium is hoping that it's not as serious as it now looks. Word is reaching us that it is a suspected lower leg break. So Veselinovic can't be moved. They're going to have to bring the ambulance to him. And the County Meath Civil Defence ambulance has made a turn and it makes its way slowly to the field. The kind of occurrence that can happen at baseball games. It's ostensibly a largely non-contact sport, a minimal contact sport, but these freak occurrences can happen. In avoiding a back tag from Ari Sokopoulos to beat out an infield single, Igor Veselinovic hurt himself badly on the first base bag. And an ambulance is now going to enter the field to remove Veselinovic, the player manager of the Slovenian team. So the County Meath Civil Defence ambulance enters the fray now. They're going to back right up as close to the first base bag as they can. Moving Veselinovic will be a challenge, but these are experienced first aiders and first responders. And so the ambulance is in position now in the attempt to move the now stabilized Veselinovic. They've cut away his baseball pants to assess the damage done to his leg. They're going to bring out the ramp and eventually the stretcher. So Veselinovic's injury unfortunately casts a shadow over what has been an exciting game so far. Greece lead this one 6-0 here in the top of the third, and now everyone at this ballpark, all of their thoughts are with the seriously injured Veselinovic. He's lucid, responding. He's talking to his teammates, to his counterpart on the Greek side, Skip Essian, as the civil defense bring out the ambulance. The stretcher. And the delicate operation of moving the stricken Slovenian skipper will begin. Baseball, like any sport, is played by athletes and injuries are part of the game, but this is something that looks very serious. They're going to attempt to put the Stretcher together around the stricken Veselinovic. It's not going to be an easy job simply because of the way he's lying in a semi-recovery position. They're going to attempt to get this stretcher around him. And moving the injured leg will be the painful part of the process. As both teams have retreated to their respective benches to rehydrate, recuperate, and regather. Greece have a right-hander up and throwing in the bullpen, and this kind of a delay can affect pitchers' arms and rhythms. A long time without throwing, like a one-sided affair or like a game affected by a rain delay, pitchers are badly affected by this kind of extended delay to play that's caused by an injury on the field that requires a player to be stabilized in position and removed by ambulance. And the umpires will now go to the benches, just give a status update to the teams. Finnish umpire Tony Jones approaches the Slovenians. German umpire Alexander Hartel is speaking with the Greeks, and Damiana Iacobelli, today's crew chief and home plate umpire, is just overseeing the situation. Rok Varas, the coach, is checking on his skipper as they slowly turn Veselinovic, place him on the stretcher. They lower the injured leg gently. And they place a blanket under his leg to give it some elevation and minimize the chance of shock setting in. A very serious injury here to Veselinovic. If you've just joined us, we have a break in play due to a base running injury received by the player manager of the Slovenian side and left fielder Igor Veselinovic. He beat out an infield single to first base on a shot deep to the shortstop, and in avoiding the back tag by Greek first baseman Aris Sakopoulos has injured his own leg. So he is going to come out of the game, and our thoughts are with him, and we wish him a speedy recovery, and we hope that we will indeed see him in uniform for tomorrow's game against Ireland. The Greek team are going to slowly resume the field and attempt to stretch out and get warm. Pitcher Dimitrios Kourtis is going to trudge towards the mound. He's just going to play catch a little with his mates and try and get warm again. As the County Meath Civil Defence now appear to have the constructible stretcher in place around Veselinovic, as they and his Slovenian teammates are going to lift him onto the stretcher bed. And he's getting some help from the Greek team as well. A tremendous show of collegiate spirit and solidarity here at the ballpark at Ashburn. They lift Igor Veselinovic, and a warm round of applause rings out around the ballpark from all sides. Player manager Igor Veselinovic is going to come out of the game. He waves his appreciation to his teammates. They get some support for him, and they are going to have to stabilize him into that stretcher bed, bring him into the ambulance, and they will take him to hospital as Kourtis gets some warm-up pitches in to try and get his arm back into gear. So our broadcast is delayed at the moment, unfortunately, due to a serious injury suffered by Igor Veselinovic, left fielder and manager of the Slovenian national baseball team. He suffered a horrendous base running injury. He has been stabilized by our attentive first aiders here from the County Meath Civil Defence. He is aboard the stretcher, and as they strap him in, they will prepare to remove him where he can receive medical attention at a nearby hospital. The pinch runner is in. That's going to be Ziga Verbeek. They're going to try and just remove the constructible portable stretcher from around him. He's on the stretcher bed. He's strapped in. We're going to try and make him as comfortable as possible. Igor Veselinovic in a tremendous amount of pain, but gritting through it to issue a last few instructions to his teammates. And as they get him comfortably secured to the stretcher bed, the County Meath Civil Defence going to load Veselinovic into the ambulance. A tragic end to his game and potentially his tournament. It's an injury to his left knee sustained as his leg buckled. He lost his footing over the bag, avoiding the back tag from Ari Sakopoulos, and a serious injury to the knee of the Slovenian player manager Igor Veselinovic, making his tournament debut in today's game, and unfortunately it's cut short. He's 1 for 1 with an infield single, and now the County Meath Civil Defence are going to take Veselinovic to the ambulance. And another round of applause rings out. He waves his appreciation to the crowd, very friendly to the Slovenians who have embedded themselves into the hearts and minds of the local crowd here at Ashbourne. And our thoughts are with Igor Veselinovic. We wish him a speedy recovery. Number 34, Ziga Verbeek, will come into the game.
Number 34, Ziga Verbeek.
So our ball game will shortly resume. We have a 6-0 ball game. Greece lead this. We are in the top of the third. Slovenia have a base runner at first. Nobody out. And after Dimitrios Kortis gets warm again, he will pitch to Matija Pevek, making his tournament debut. As the County Meath Civil Defence close the doors of the ambulance, so this ball game on a beautiful sunny day at Ashburn is brought to you by Foley's New York Bar and Grill, home of the Irish American Baseball Hall of Fame. Check out their Facebook page. Check them out on Twitter at Foley's NY. And check out their burger of the week, Pub Grub, par excellence at Foley's Bar and Grill in the shadow of the Empire State Building in New York City. And by La Buca Italian Restaurants, best casual dining in Meath. 3 restaurants in Ashburn, Dunboyne and Ratoath. The finest of Italian food at La Buca, labuca.ie. And our ball game will resume as soon as the ambulance containing the stricken Igor Veselinovic is removed from the field. The Greek team stretch out and try to get limber again. The danger with these kind of delays, like rain delays or extended hitting rallies that see a team benched for quite some time, is that pitchers get cold, fielders stiffen up. It's always the danger of tweaking a muscle or injuring a ligament or tendon. So they load back up the ambulance, and the sincere thanks of all at Baseball Ireland go to the County Meath Civil Defence, who have been invaluable here. They've dealt with everything from Charlie horses and bruises and broken nails and blistered thumbs right the way through to that horrendous knee injury suffered by the Slovenian skipper, Igor Veselinovic. And now the ambulance will depart the field of play to another warm round of applause.
A round of applause and show of support for the injured Matic Yerman. Wish you well, sir. See you back here soon, we hope.
6-0 lead.
And now the restarts.
So Dimitrios Kortis will resume on the hill.
With number 34, Žiga Verbeck. Place at first base.
He has a 6-0 lead.
Number 23, the center fielder, Matija Pevic.
So Matija Pevic is going to step up as the umpires resume their positions in the field. There are no outs. We are in the top of the third, and there is a base runner at first after the infield single. He is the pinch runner, Žiga Verbeck. Pevic is going to step in, and let's see if the delay has affected Kortis at all. Third baseman is in case of a sacrifice bunt attempt. Pevic is swinging away at strike one. The ball game is back in action now after an extended break in play. We've been playing for an hour and 6 minutes. Runner in motion, popped up into foul ground, right field at the fence. No play can be made there by the Greek right fielder John Kalivas. Skips off the fence for a foul ball, and Verbeck will retreat to first base safely. So a swing and a miss and a foul ball sees a 0-2 count to Matija Pevic. Matija Pevic has come into the game in place of David Lajevec, who played 2 games at center field and did well with the stick. Pevic making his tournament debut in this game. The runner at first has a big lead. Check swing. Strike 3 call to the knees. And there's the first out of the inning. Pevic is a victim of the strikeout looking. It's going to bring up the hot corner man, Martin Godnic. Godnic had a clutch double in yesterday afternoon's game, where Slovenia would race out to a lead but would be pegged back by Finland and eventually seen off in extra innings. That's in for a strike, inner half of the plate. That's a ball dropped by the catcher, but well corralled in front of him. And Georgios Tliveras has had an excellent tournament so far as a defensive backstop, has allowed a minimum amount of pass balls and wild pitches. And it gives a pitcher a lot of confidence to have a backstop like that, knowing that he can throw that breaking ball in the dirt when necessary. Runner in motion and a foul ball is going to send him back to first base. As the sun comes out from behind a cloud, your ball game is a 6-0 game. There's one out here in the top of the third and a runner on first for Slovenia. Greece have scored 3 in the bottom of the first, 3 in the bottom of the second, and they lead this one comfortably. Dimitrios Kortis, well, you might have thought he'd be saved after that extended delay. Foul ball swinging here from Godnic again. The horrendous knee injury suffered by Igor Veselinovic led to a very long delay. Kortis has been dealing. So he obviously doesn't factor into Greece's plans for a potential final on Saturday. They may be just saying to him, you got a long lead out there, kid, do what you can. Kortis, of course, has played a bit of third base as well for Greece in this tournament and will be swinging the bat himself. Has helped out his own cause with 2 RBIs. He's got 3 RBIs rather on a single and a double in 2 at-bats so far. So he has been responsible for half of the runs Greece have scored to date. Godnic puts that one on the ground to second for 1. That's all they're going to get. The throw was off the line, and Jamie Lekas had to dive to his left and make sure that as he came down, his shin hit the bag. Good defensive place to nail the lead runner. So a strikeout and a fielder's choice ground out means that there's 2 away for the leadoff man, Jan Primozic. Godnich safe at first there on the fielder's choice. Right-handed hitting Primozic digs in, watches that one away for a ball. That one misses low for ball 2. Godnich at first and Primozic at the plate have demonstrated in 2 games for Slovenia that given half a chance they will run and run and run. Godnich swiped a handful of bags in the high-scoring game that Slovenia had, the one that finished 27-18 in their first game against Norway. That game had everything. As the runner is in motion, but that's fouled away towards the tree in right field foul ground. And out of play. Yeah, that slugfest between Slovenia and Norway saw a Norwegian grand slam from Chris Malch, our only grand slam home run of the tournament to date. Brian McAuliffe for Team Ireland has a 3-run shot. There is a hard hit foul ball. It hooks away. Primozic just a little behind the pitches from Cortis as he is hitting those down the right field line and foul. He needs to straighten it out if he wants to see some success. Check swing, no swing, the ball. Runner in motion, swing and another foul ball. The Slovenian bench are trying their best to get rid of this certain lethargy that has crept into the game. An extended break can do that. The crowd a little deflated after the horrendous injury to Igor Veselinovic. Strike 3 called, and the side is retired. Fastball comes across at the thighs, and that puts the Slovenians away. They get a base runner, but no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and they leave 1 man on base. And we're back with the Greeks batting in the bottom of the 3rd right. Bring me back.
Capo Tenasas.
You were the first. Yeah, there you go. 500. How much did we get total? What are we at now? So we rejoined the action here in the bottom of the 3rd as Constant Kapithanasis watches a ball come across for a strike at the knees. Foul tip for strike 2. And Till is dealing here in the early going. Luca Till had that extended break there. You got to wonder what that did to his arm. He wasn't up in the bullpen throwing much, as his skipper was injured on a base running calamity. That one's on the ground. It's a foul ball. Just the wrong side of the third base bag on a pull shot from Constant Kapithanasis. So if you're just joining us, Greece have shot out to a 6-0 lead here. They're now batting in the bottom of the third with none away. The first man up is Constant Kapithanasis. We had an extended break in the top of the third as the first Slovenian batter of the inning, player manager Igor Veselinovic, that one's a ball, beat out an infield single, but on avoiding a back tag from first baseman Ari Sakopoulos, injured his knee as he lost his footing over the first base bag. It was a serious injury. That one's popped up. Foul ground and no play as that's beyond the dugout for a strike 2. So Veselinovic seriously injured on that play. He was replaced by the pinch runner Ziga Verbeek, but the Slovenes couldn't do anything with the rest of their inning. Ziga Verbeek was erased from the base paths on a fielder's choice ground out by Martin Godnic after Mateja Pevic struck out. So Kapithanasis is battling hard here on 2 strikes to stay in. He pops that one up, and that one is going to get out of play again. And that one is too far inside, and that drills Kapithanasis. Luca Till indicates that there was absolutely no malice in that one, just lost control of it. Inside it goes. So a runner on first base for Billy Les, who singled and had an RBI in the first inning. As he would score the run of Ari Sakopoulos from second base on a good base hit. And another pull shot to left field and another base hit. Carbon copy of his base hit in the first as he pulls it to left field along the ground. A seeing eye single between Godnic and Primozic. And others runners at first and second with nobody out for the Greeks. Up comes Johnny Kalivas, right fielder. In your programs as Ioannis Kalivas, the Greek equivalent, known as John to his friends. Kalivas grounded out. And he watches that one for a strike. He grounded to short. They went the short way to second base and erased Billy Les from the base paths to end the last inning. That one's in the dirt. Change out the baseball. So runners at first and second, nobody away. And Greece with a great opportunity, gilt-edged here, to add to their 6-run lead in the third. Greece a very strong team. They would have been among the pre-tournament favorites. Whitewashed by Ireland last night. A little bit shell-shocked after that one. They weren't expecting to be shut down completely. They had worked on their hitting, worked on their running game in the months leading up to the tournament, and then they ended up one hit by the hometown team. 3 base runners in total reached base for the Greeks last night in the game against Ireland. That's outside for a ball. Good take by Johnny Kalivas. Pops that one up on the infield. The infield fly rule is in effect, so the batter's out anyway. But camping underneath it, Puchnik, the first baseman, is able to make the play. He jokes with his pitcher. He almost lost that one in the wind, but the infield fly rule was called by the umpires. The batter runner was out regardless. And with one away on the play, that's going to bring up Jamie Lekas. Slovenia now have a righty and a lefty warming up in the bullpen. That's in for a strike on Lekas. So a crucial game here for Slovenia. They were not expecting to lose the game to Finland yesterday. And in the pre-tournament scouting report, this was pegged as one of the crucial games. The three teams of Ireland, Greece, and Slovenia went in as favorites to reach the final, ahead of their Nordic counterparts. That one's a ball as well, up and away. Finland have been a real surprise package, though. They've played well in all of their games and ground out a serious extra innings win over Slovenia yesterday. So Slovenia 1-1 on the tournament. Greece 1-1 on the tournament. Both teams have had their rest day. They've got to go right through to Friday and potentially Saturday as that one is clobbered in to the outfield. It's going to fall into short center field where it will drop for a base hit and the runners are forced. And they won't advance any further than that.
Now batting.
As the center fielder Matija Pevic recovers to make that play. That one falls in a bloop single to load the bases, and the bases are loaded for Max Goren. Goren has reached on a walk and scored, and then he hit a double and scored himself later on in the second inning. So he's been aboard twice. He's 1 for 1 with a double. He has scored 2 runs, and now he has all the bags juiced and 1 away on the inning. That's in for a strike. So the story of earnings so far, a leadoff hit by pitch, followed by a single to left field. Then a pop out to the first baseman, and then another base hit, a bloop single to center field has seen the bags all juiced for Max Goren. And his fine ball game continues with a line drive to left field where it will be taken in, but the runner's going to tag and score from third. So a sacrifice fly and an RBI for Max Goren as he does his job at the plate. 2 away on the inning and a run scores for Greece. They lead this one 7-0, and they have runners on first and second with 2 men out for the shortstop, Pete Mistralis. A line drive deep to left field. He was played well by the left fielder, the pinch runner Ziga Verbeek. But it was deep enough for the run to tag up and score from third base. Sacrifice fly and an RBI. Max Goren remains 1 for 1. And he adds a ribby to his credit. That one gets away and the runners are going to advance. And yes, it clips Mistralis on the way through. It is a hit by pitch. Just got him on the thigh of his front foot as he tries to get out of the way of danger. So the bases are loaded again. There are 2 away now for the catcher, Georgios Tliveras, who has walked and flied out. He is 0 for 1 with a run scored. Vadas is going to call time, and with 2 pitchers having warmed up, that might be the end of the rope for Luka Till. And that is indeed the day for Luka Till. He leaves them loaded. He is going to be replaced by number 92, Patrick Puntar. So the book is still open on Luka Till, but to date he has allowed 7 runs on 7 hits. His defense has been solid behind him, no errors to date, and he is still responsible for those 3 runners that Puntar is going to inherit.
For the Slovenian national team, number 92, Patrick Puntar.
So the tall left-hander, Patrick Puntar, gets his warm-up pitches in. He's been warming up in the visitors' bullpen for the last 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
So Puntar, a tall, skinny left-hander, just like his compatriot Rock Chuchek, who pitched in the 2 previous games. We're joined up here in the gantry by Irish national team manager Sean Mitchell, just to get a view of the action. He's already seen off Greece. He's got Slovenia tomorrow, and a great opportunity to scout these teams, have a look at what their stuff is, because these would have been the pre-tournament favorites to join Ireland in the final. Of course, Finland, the surprise package, they have a win to their name as well, and a chance to do some more damage later on tonight in the Nordic Derby, and that might even see them through to the final. All to play for here still in this game. Greece lead this 7-0 in the bottom of the 3rd, as that's a pop-up and a foul ball out of play. Sliveris, the catcher, he is 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. He has flied out to right field in his 1 at-bat. All the bags are juiced. There's nowhere to put him. There are 2 away, and Puntar delivers his second pitch. It's a high breaking ball. Misses the zone. Sliveris watches that one at his chin for a ball. And Puntar not finding the zone here. And there's a shot deep to left field, but hook and foul all the way, and it goes over the fence, dead ball. It's going to square the count up at 2-2. The Greek catcher. And that one is going to fill the count 3-2. And the last thing Puntar wants to do is walk in a run and leave them loaded for big Ari Sakopoulos, who had that double off the wall. Oh, there's a shot out to the outfield, to center field, where the play will be made and the side will be retired. So Patrick Puntar comes in relief and does his job. He gets the out and leaves the bases loaded. Slovenia score 1 run on 2 hits. There were no Greece score 1 run on 2 hits. There were no Slovenian errors. And they leave 3 men on base. Greece batting in the bottom of the 4th.
Looking good, playing good, and all this stuff that's got to be done. Now
So we
batting
rejoin the action
for
here
Slovenia.
as Borut Stanko is going to
Number
step in.
99, Borut Stanko.
Slovenia chasing a 7-run deficit here. They've had to go to the pen in the bottom of the third. And I'm joined here in the broadcast booth by Irish manager Sean Mitchell, as that one is in for a ball. Sean, tremendous performances, back-to-back one-hitters for Ireland. Tell me your thoughts on last night's game against probably those we thought were going to be your fiercest rivals in this one, Greece. Were you expecting to dominate the way you did?
Certainly not. I think, I was definitely expecting a very good game. Certainly seen Keelan Smithers pitching at the training camp during the week, and his stuff really looked electric, so I was certainly looking forward to seeing how he would perform against these guys. But I mean, that was way more than I could have expected. I think both defensively and offensively. So really good job by the Irish taking it up a gear.
Absolutely. Stanko fouls that one away, puts a strike on his count. Pitching has been key for you guys, but I think offensively you got to have a look at the bats of. There's a swing and a miss, and the ball in the dirt. They're going to have to throw down to Sikopoulos at first, and they make the play. And that's going to bring up the catcher, Matic Lesniak. But the bat of Brian McAuliffe in particular has been impressive. Joe Cosgrove has weighed in with a couple of key base hits last night and in the previous game. I think right down the order you've seen guys join the hit parade. Is the offense something you've been paying specific attention to in the weeks leading up to this?
Yeah, we have put a lot of focus on that. Frank Andrews, our strength and conditioning guy, has been working with the domestic players all year very hard, and I think we're seeing the results. Players like Alan Fox and Leo Farrell coming up with clutch hits last night against guys who are throwing the ball up in probably the low 90s. So great to see that. Brian McAuliffe been really hot. Went 4 for 4 the night before last. Again, key double. Hitting balls in the gap first.
Lesniak hits that one right to the second baseman on a 2-strike pitch, and that's a ground out. 2 away. Here's going to bring up the first baseman, Puchnik. And anyone who visits this beautiful ballpark at Ashburn would see you scurrying around and would think that everything's a one-man show, that you're there, you're part of the grounds crew, you're here at the announcing booth now. But you've got a good team behind you. New additions to the coaching team this year. And then you're bringing back Frank Andrews and David Friedman as well. But how have the new coaches settled in, and how are the boys taking to the new approach?
Yeah, it's been transformative, I have to say. Both Donegal Fergus and Nick Lockwood additions, and David Friedman also back. So we're in a position there where we have a head coach who's also the hitting coach. We've got an infield coach, an outfield coach, a pitching coach. And I mean, that's just tremendous. They're really hard working staff, very great expertise, and in terms of my job, it makes it so much easier when I don't need to worry about the mechanics of getting the guys ready, and able to move around and make sure things are running well with the tournament as well as with the team. So it's
well, I mean, as a manager, the ability to delegate is a rare privilege at this level, but something that you should definitely take advantage of. That 2-strike pitch was up and in on Puchnik. He dances out of danger. It's a ball on 2 strikes, and he swings and misses. Strike 3, swinging, and the side is retired. More with Sean Mitchell and more action in the next half of the inning right after this.
National team.
Ari Sakopoulos up first, the big first baseman. He has a walk, and he had that ringing double off the wall. Would have been a home run, but for the wind blowing in here at Ashburn. He has scored 2 runs as well. And a reminder that you can support Ireland's baseball dreams with the Irish national team's GoFundMe appeal. The URL on your screens now. And Sean, running an amateur baseball program, you kind of need the support of benefactors and donors. This GoFundMe will help team costs, but there's a shot by Sakopoulos back in deep to right field, and that one is never coming home. Solo shot, Ari Sakopoulos. And he continues his fine tournament. A 10th RBI of the tournament on the solo shot for Sakopoulos. It's going to bring up the starting pitcher. He comes up with the bases empty. He's 2 for 2. He had a 2-run double. He had a 2-run single in the first. He was thrown out trying to stretch his RBI double into a triple in the second. And of course, as the pitcher, he has 4 innings pitched, no runs on 2 hits, and he has scattered 9 strikeouts over 4 complete. But Sean, tell us a little bit about running an amateur international tournament. What are the costs you need to defray with the help of donors and benefactors?
Yeah, unfortunately there's a lot of costs involved. The Confederation of European Baseball, awards the tournaments to obviously federations they believe have the wherewithal to carry it off logistically, etc. But there are a lot of financial responsibilities for the host nation.
Cordes puts that one on the ground to third base, where it will be thrown over by Godnich to Puchnik, and the first out of the inning is recorded. It's going to bring up to bat the Greek left fielder Constant Kapathanasis, who has been hit by a pitch and scored a run, but flied out in his only at-bat to date. So yeah, we're
some of the financial obligations that we have to put up the officials, we have to provide transport for all the teams, lots of elements there. So it's about a 40,000 euro budget that we've had to sink into to running this tournament.
And one thing that people might think, looking at it, as Kapathanasis pops up to the shallow left field where the shortstop will make the play and the second out of the inning is recorded. People probably should be aware that this doesn't go into players' pockets. We're looking at an entirely amateur team. A lot of players, of course, involved in NCAA programs, North American collegiate programs. This is something that is to offset the costs of hosting the tournament and running a national team program, rather than trying to pay anybody to swing the bat in an Ireland jersey.
Absolutely, yeah. All the players are funding themselves here. Some of them with considerable travel costs and supporting their way. Great commitment from the players, and that's been the story throughout over the years with the national team program. Of course, as an organisation, we're also trying to do a lot of new things with facilities, with youth programs, etc. So a lot of investment needed. And
Billy Les at the plate here for Greece as he watches another one over for a ball. He's batting with 2 away. He is 2 for 2, 2 singles and an RBI to his credit as he takes that one inside for a ball. Sean, you're a veteran of the national team program as a player and now as a manager, and you've played with the greats, the great and the good of Irish baseball. You're now managing the current generation. Where does this Irish team rank as Billy Les wraps that one on the ground and it eats the third baseman, Tade Brelli, alive? Tade Brelli has come into the game as a defensive replacement for Martin Godnich, who has slid over to second base.
Number 20, John.
So that means number 99, Stanko's out of the game. So the runner is safe at second base on that play. That's going to bring up John Kalivas. Yeah, so I was just asking you there, Sean, where in the pantheon of Irish baseball do you reckon this current generation is? Is this one of the better teams we've seen together?
Yeah, I think without question this is probably the strongest team we've put on the field in my recollection, and I guess I've seen all the Irish teams who have taken the field. So, but I think one key thing that we've tried to do this time is ensure depth of pitching. I mean, it's been our experience over the years in this kind of tournament format where you're playing day after day for a whole week, that come day 4, day 5, day 6, you can easily be running out of arms and just trying to find who have you got with some gas in the tank. And this time I think we've 12 or 13 people on the staff there who can throw. We're getting work all around and keeping guys fresh to make sure that come Friday, Saturday, we still have lots to throw at these teams.
That's going to be key, really, because if things don't go your way in a potential final meeting with Finland, Slovenia, or Greece, you're going to need to have somebody in the bullpen. Your starting pitching has been impressive as well, but one thing that we've noticed in the game so far is that even when they're going well, even when they're one-hitting or no-hitting a team, you've got them on pitch counts, you've got them on short leads, you're keeping arms fresh, you're getting guys work. How are the pitchers reacting to that? Keelan Smithers, for example, as that one is hit on the ground and a base hit up the left field line, going to score that run. As Billy Les reached on an error by the third baseman, was balked over to third base, and now on the base hit RBI, he's going to score. How are pitchers reacting to this kind of major league style management of their arms?
Well, I think quite well. I think the communication there has been key. We've talked to the pitchers up front about what we're trying to do, and I think they've all bought into it. They're gelling together well as a staff. Got a great setup down the bullpen there. Made a little fort under the scoreboard there, and they're
pitches are weird. Pitches are weird.
So no, but they've really rallied together on this and working great as a team. And I think understanding what we're trying to do here in making sure we can come out on the last 2 days of the tournament still with all guns blazing.
What are the plans for the rest day? You're here scouting the opposition. Are the team free to do what they want, explore the sights and sounds of beautiful Ashburn County Meath, or have they got any activities today as that one is hit foul?
No, we've given them pretty much a day off today. A lot of the players have their family around, so maybe going into Dublin doing a bit of sightseeing or whatever, and just allow them to kind of recharge the batteries today.
They on a curfew?
Not formally, but we've kept them away from any alcohol, etc. all week, so they've been behaving themselves. I think everybody really wants this, and they're rallying together.
One last question. It seems that there is a tremendous team spirit in the camp. As that one is hit hard on the ground and another base hit. That one is going to squeeze right by the stretching Tade Brelli. Runners now at second and third as no play can be made on the base runner advancing from first. So that one
center fielder, number 11,
is going to bring up the leadoff man, Max Guarin, who has a double and a sac fly, has scored 2 runs and has 1 RBI to his credit. He has walked in the first as well. He comes up with 2 men in scoring position and 2 outs on the inning. Yeah, there seems to be a tremendous team spirit. This Irish team seems to be gelling well together. It's a team that likes to play for each other. They're walking off the fields together. They're spending time together. Something we haven't seen in a lot of teams. They're enjoying themselves. There's no sign of the old fabled Red Sox 25 guys in 25 cabs. This is a team that enjoys being around each other. How have you enjoyed the team spirit?
Yeah, it's fantastic. And
right up the middle, base hit. 1 run scores. The second run rounds third. And a 2 RBI single for the leadoff man, Max Guarin. His fine ball game continues. Sorry, Sean, carry on.
Yeah, no, I have to say a lot of credit is due to Chris Senamand in particular and Steve DeVito, who've been part of the national team selection committee in terms of doing the recruitment process over the off season here, and Chris in particular, put a lot of effort into getting to know these guys, getting to know their families, their coaches, and really understanding their strong connection to Ireland, and understanding that the cultural fit is going to be as important as the skills of these players. We've seen that in the past, so a lot of effort was invested there, and I think we're seeing the results of that now. Really a tremendous bunch of guys who are really gelling really well together.
And the guys based here in the domestic league, Jaime Cuevas, Alan Fox, Leo Farrell, Matt Stearman, they've all come in, they've done well. We saw Foxy hit that RBI triple to right field. We saw Leo Farrell have a fine ball game yesterday. How does playing with a higher standard of player, guys who are involved in college programs or even pro players like Billy Greenfield, how does that lift the players who are here in the domestic league?
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, those guys have done the work, they're well prepared, so they're able to come in and play this level of competition. But I think when we bring together with the players coming in from overseas, it does help to lift everyone's game. I mean, the expectation is there over how tight you're going to play, and that's without letting up, right? That's every pitch, every at bat, every swing has to be a good swing. you know, every play in the field has to be tight. So the expectation level is there, and it helps, you know, raise everyone's level.
Well, Sean, thanks a million for joining us in the booth. It's been a pleasure to talk to you, and we wish you the very best of luck. Obviously, we're rooting for Team Ireland. I know people are tuning in now from Slovenia, Greece. They're not hoping you so well, but certainly here at Baseball Ireland, we wish you all the best in the last game you've got of the round-robin series against Slovenia, and then a final. I mean, statistically speaking, are you guaranteed a spot in the final now? You're 3-0?
I think that's, yeah, I haven't gone through the mathematics, but I think that's probably the case.
But you're not going to let up against Slovenia regardless.
No, exactly, and you know, the rules of the rules of promotion also are important here. The fact that three teams go up from the two tournaments that are being held in parallel here.
There's a pop-up by Mistralis into foul territory, but out of play.
So from that point of view, every game is important.
Absolutely. Well, we wish you the very best of luck. The road to Tokyo 2020 begins here at Ashburn. Who would have thought it a couple of years ago? Tremendous congratulations to you, not only on the team you've put together, but on the vision you had to put this ballpark in and to lead Ireland to hosting this tournament. Sean Mitchell, thanks for being with us.
Pleasure.
Mistralis is digging in with a runner on first base. He pops another one into foul ground, and the play will not be made there. That's a dead ball as well. Greece have scored 4 in the inning. In the meantime, they lead this 11-0. They are completely in control. Relief pitcher Patrick Puntar is in. Puntar came in relief with the bases loaded and got himself out of a jam. In the previous inning, that's a pop-up to right field foul. But certainly Greece have shown what they're capable of now. They will have been very disappointed in what was a poor batting performance against Ireland. They have been comprehensively the better team with the sticks in this one. And that one is clipped foul on the ground. Mistralis doing a great job of hanging in there at the plate. And that one is low for ball 4, and that was a heck of a plate appearance by Pete Mistralis as he saw off a dozen pitches to take his place at first base. So runners at first and second and 2 men dead for Georges Tliveras. As Greece bring their 9th man of the inning to the plate. Tliveras is 0 for 2 with 2 flyouts to the outfield. He has walked and scored back in the first inning. And he watches that one up for a ball. And that hits him to load the bags. So bases loaded for big Ari Sakopoulos. Ari Sakopoulos is 2 for 2 with 3 RBIs and a walk. He has scored a run 3 times. He had that massive solo home run, and he had that huge double off the wall for 2 RBIs in the second. He's the danger man as they bat around. He led off this inning with a solo homer. Rok Varas is out, and it looks like Patrick Puntar's day is done. So they are going to go to the pen for Jaka Smolnikar. Jaka Smolnikar. Puntar leaves him loaded. And in comes Jaka Smolnikar. Jaka Smolnikar, skinny right-hander, Slovenian pitcher here. And with the bases loaded, this is a crucial at-bat because if Greece score 15 runs, all they're going to have to do is shut down Slovenia to take it on the run rule. And shutting down Slovenia is something they've demonstrated they have no problem doing. Dimitrios Kourtis, the pitcher, has had a fine time so far. He has scattered 2 hits, and he has a grand total of 9 strikeouts over 4 complete innings. So should this go to a 5th or a 6th with a 15-run lead, then Greece would be fairly confident of shutting this one down. Manager Skip Essien comes out and confers with his base runners. Of course, there are 2 away on the play, so he's just going to impress on them the need to score and to advance. Another defensive replacement here as Levnikar is going to come in for Slovenia and go to right field. So Max Levnikar is going to come in for Miha Kitek.
For the Slovenian national team, number 29, Jaka Smolnika.
So Max Levikar comes in to right field in a straight switch for Miha Kitek. As Slovenia start to empty the bench, they're getting the pen going, getting the defensive replacements out. First pitch, the Sakopoulos is low, it's a ball. Ari Sakopoulos in a head-to-head race with Brian McAuliffe to be the big stick of this tournament, and his 2 home runs have demonstrated there's a ball in the dirt. That one is going to go as far as the wall, but no risk from Goran there. He knows that that ball could rebound easily off the wall and come back. He may well have scored, but he's playing conservatively with 2 outs here. He doesn't want to take the bat out of Sakopoulos' hands. That's in for a strike at the thighs. 2 balls and 1 strike to the big left-handed hitter. He watches that one up and away for a ball. 3 balls and 1 strike. There's nowhere to put him. And this is a hitter's count for a hitter and a half. Ari Sakopoulos watches that one away. It's ball 4. And a run is going to come in. Ari Sakopoulos takes first base on the unintentional pass that time. The ball skipped to the wall, but there's no further advance.
Another defensive substitution for Team Slovenia. Taking over.
It's going to bring up the pitcher, Dimitrios Kortis. He's having a fine ball game with the ball and with the bat. Kortis is 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs. He has a single and a double.
Dimitri Kortis.
Grounded out hard to the third baseman in his last at-bat, and he's got the bases loaded. 12-0 ball game here for Greece. And that hits Kortis and is going to force home a run. And certainly this is not a situation where there's any intention on the part of the pitcher, Jaka Smolnikar. He just loses control of that when it gets in and drills his opposite number in the back.
Number 14, Kostan Kapotanaisas.
And that's it for Smolnikar. He faces 2 batters and fails to record an out. It looks like Rokvadas is going to hook him. Yes, indeed. Smolnikar's done, and in comes Nick Perko. So Smolnikar has walked in a run and has a hit by pitch. He concedes 2 runs. He gets no outs. Nick Perko is going to come in, try and shut this down to give Slovenia a chance to battle back into this 13-run deficit. And he faces Konstant Kapathanassis. Kapathanassis is 0 for 2, is hit by a pitch, and has scored a run. You got a feel for Jaka Smolnikar being pulled out of the game without the opportunity to have recorded an out. Of course, he's not responsible for the runs that he forced home, so he is responsible for the runners on first and second, however. So the Slovenian crowd will start to chant to try and get their defense going. They're up against it here. Defeat to Greece will make a final place almost impossible, as they will slip to 1-2.
Your attention, please. Now on to pitch for the Slovenian national team. Number 88, Nick Perko.
So Kapithanas is going to dig in and face down his first pitch from Perko out of the windup. Bases are loaded. Runners on first, second, third. Swing and a miss for strike one. And that one is away for a ball. 1-1 the count. Perko, the fine young Slovenian pitcher. Hits another batter, did he? No, it's just a wild pitch. A run is going to score. Kapithanas feels he got out of the way of that one. That one was a close one. Kapithanas dances out of danger, and a run will score on a wild pitch. $14-0 ball game. 7 runs in here in the fourth. 7 runs across the previous 3 innings. There's a shot. That is out to the outfield. 1 run is going to score. The second run, the pitcher is going to jog it, and he is going to make it in. It's a 2-run single for Constant Kapithanas as he clears the bases and takes first base for himself.
Now batting.
Going to bring up to bat number 25, Bill Les. 9 runs home so far in the inning. 2 away. Nick Perko here in relief of Jaka Smolnikar, who came in the same inning for Patrick Puntar. And Slovenia just looking so desperately to get this third out. Bill Les, to date in the game, is 2 for 3. He has reached on 2 singles and an error. There's another base hit up the middle. Greasy going to play station to station there as Kapithanas is going to pull up short at second. Oh, that is a third base hit for Billy Les. Brings up John Kalivas. He is 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. He has grounded out and popped out. 16-0 your ball game. A lopsided affair here. That one is in for a strike. And the enthusiasm somewhat sapped out of this game because of the terrible injury to Igor Veselinovic earlier on. That's in for strike 2. Veselinovic beating out an infield single for the first Slovenian hit of the ball game. Avoided the back tag by Ari Sakopoulos, but injured his knee gravely on the first base bag. There's a shot deep out to the outfield where it will be caught on the long run, and the side is finally retired. 16-0 your ball game. Greece firmly in control. And we'll be back right after this. So we rejoin the action here in the top of the 5th at the International Ballpark. We got some changes for you. Out of the game is the starting pitcher, Dimitrios Kortis. And in comes Alexandros Gounaris. Second baseman, Jamie Lekas is gone, and in comes Dimitri Zumboulakis.
Shortstop, number 10, George Sifliotis. And in for Jamie Lekas.
And George Sifliotis replaces Pete Mistralis at short.
Now batting, number 42, right fielder, Max Levichar.
So Max Levichar came in as a defensive replacement this last inning. He's going to be the first person to face Alexandros Gounaris. And that's in for a strike at the knees. Little sidearm action. Fastball clipped away for foul ball. 0-2. Levichar ducks out of the way of that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. As the Slovenian bench cheer him on, give him a little encouragement. Chasing 16 runs, Slovenia simply have to. Strike 3 called, outer half of the plate, and Levichar is a strikeout victim. There's a pinch hitter now. Is the no, it's not. It's not the designated hitter. Ziga Strukel, number 46, going to step in. Facing Alexandros Gounaris, the new Greek pitcher, on in relief of Dimitrios Kortis, who had a fine ball game. That one's up and away. Kortis gave up 2 hits over 4 innings. He had 9 strikeouts, and of course that big blank, no runs allowed. That one just misses to Strukel. 2 balls. Swing and a miss for a second strike. For the first strike, rather. 2 balls and 1 strike now to Ziga Strukel. Strukel caught yesterday's extra innings affair. That's in for a strike. Doesn't like it. Nods his head. He knows it was a strike, but it's not the pitch he wanted to hit. The right-handed hitting designated hitter, Ziga Strukel. Watches that one in for a second call strikeout of the inning. That one came across. Ziga Verbeek is going to come up.
And now batting, number 34, left fielder, Ziga Verbeek.
Ziga Verbeek is going to step in. Came in as a pinch runner for the injured Igor Veselinovic early on in the game. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've just joined us here at the International Baseball Center, Greece have a commanding 16-0 lead. They are completely in control as Gounaris, playing the role of the redundant closer here, comes in and just guns him. That one misses, low and away. Slovenia, when they were 6-0 down, suffered a horrendous injury. Their player manager, Igor Veselinovic, injured his knee, running to first base, beating out an infield single. That's in for strike 2 on Verbeek. And strike 3 called, and the side is retired.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is our game.
And that is ball game on the 15-run rule. Greece win this 16-0. The time of the game, 2 hours and 5 minutes, largely due to the injury delay. We're back in a little under 3 hours for Ireland. No, Ireland aren't playing. We're off today. We got the Nordic Derby, though. It's going to be a humdinger. Join us then. Norway, Finland, right here exclusively on Facebook and YouTube. Baseball Ireland. Greece 16, Slovenia nothing. A one-sided affair brought to you by Foley's New York Bar and Grill, home of the Irish American Baseball Hall of Fame. Check out Foley's NY. My thanks to Kevin Cosgrove and Joe Zeffrin on the production team, and we'll be back at 5:30. Clear.